This is one of my favorite sequences for relieving achy feet and legs. So we want to put the legs up against the wall to start with. So you scoot as close as you can to the wall and then just swing the legs up. Now, if you have tight hamstrings, you're going to want to be a little further away from the wall. If you've got fairly loose hamstrings, you can be a little closer to the wall. So you scooch in until it's just right. If you decide you'd like a little padding underneath your hips, usually a cushion, a pillow, or a blanket folded up will work well. You just lift the hips up and put that support underneath and then set back down. You want to stay here for just a bit and let the blood and lymph flow from the lower legs. So get settled in, let the arms stretch out. Maybe let the arms stretch overhead. Maybe let them come into goalposts or hands behind the head and elbows relaxing into the floor. Just give yourself a few breaths here just to completely let go of your day. And then start to wiggle your toes. And maybe circle the feet a little. And then let the legs open out into a V. Now it doesn't have to be a wide, strenuous V, just wide enough that you feel a gentle stretching on the inner thighs. Just a gentle stretching. As you hold here, let your breath begin to slow, or maybe you've noticed that it's already starting to slow down. And as it slows down, you can let that breath become a little deeper as well. Now let's use the arms to press on the outer thighs and help the legs come back up so we're not working those inner thigh muscles that we just stretched. And then put the soles of the feet together, let the knees come apart, a butterfly pose, cobbler's pose. You can gently press on the inner thighs if you'd like, a little pulsing motion. And then just let them be for a few breaths. And then we'll use the hands again on the outside of the thighs to bring the legs together. And for the next piece, we want to cross one leg over the other. So you might need to scooch away from the wall a little bit. I'm going to scooch a little. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and take my cushion out and set it aside so my hips are flat on the floor. And then let's cross the left ankle over the right thigh. So if you can't comfortably do that, it just means you need to move a little further away from the wall until you can. And then we'll place the hands on that left thigh. And again, just gentle little pulses, kind of loosening up through the hip socket. This kind of releases tension in the sciatic nerve. And then we'll take hold of this foot. We want to try and interlace the fingers in between the toes. So maybe not all your fingers will fit in between your toes. Maybe you just get like one finger and then maybe 2 fingers, maybe not all of them, but as many as you can. So stretch the toes as wide as you can. If you can't get your fingers in between your toes at all, you might invest in some of those pedicure sandals, because they will separate your toes naturally as well. So get them how you can and then give it a squeeze. Okay, you're just squeezing the ball of the foot here. And then you release a bit, but you still keep the fingers in between the toes. Now just let your foot be relaxed here. Let your hand do the work of making a few foot circles. Going the opposite direction as well. Then we'll take the toes and kind of bend them so we're pushing the toenails towards the top of the foot. And then we're pulling on the toes so it's like the toes are pointed now. Foot's not doing any of the work still. It's your hand that's doing all the work. You release to neutral and then twist side to side with that foot. It's like you're wringing out a dish rag here. Return to neutral and squeeze again, and this time take your other hand, wrap it around as well. So we're squeezing even tighter, trying to flush all the blood out from the foot. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And then release. Start to walk your thumbs up and down the arch of the foot, starting right in the center where the thumbs are almost touching each other, and then spreading them apart just a little bit and a little bit further, just walking up and down the arch of the foot. And then give your foot a few little slaps. Very peaceful, very loving slaps, but slaps nonetheless. And then we'll set that foot back on the wall. In fact, let's let both legs straighten up against the wall again and just take a breath or two here and see if you can notice the difference in how your left foot feels compared to your right foot. And then we'll try to even that out. So we'll walk the feet back down, halfway down the wall, and then cross the right ankle over the left foot, or over the left thigh. Let's press on that right thigh, just light, gentle pulsings a few times here, loosening up through the hip, through that sciatic area. And then we'll work on the foot. So we'll start to thread the left fingers through the right toes. Just as many as you can. And if you can't spread them through, you can always just kind of pull your toes apart a few times as well. But you want to get that grip there. Now the foot stays relaxed. The hand will do the work. We're starting to make a few circles. One direction. And the opposite direction. Then we'll flex the foot, pulling the toenails towards the top of the foot. And then we'll bring that foot out to pointed. comes back to neutral, and then we twist it side to side, wringing it out. It returns to neutral, and then we give it a squeeze. We use the other hand to wrap around it as well. Really intense squeeze. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And release. We'll take the thumbs and start to walk them up and down the arch of the foot. Okay, so the thumbs are very close to each other at first. And then you let there be a little space in between the thumbs. And a little more space. Just up and down the arch. And then finish up with a few nice little taps here. Uncross the legs. You can let them walk up the wall part way and leave the legs bent, or let the heels walk up all the way so that your legs are straight. Notice how your feet feel. And then give yourself another moment or two just to simply be here.